Hi, I'm Dylan Paris, and I'm really excited to tell you a story that I've wanted to tell you for over a week. You see, Portland was covered in terrible wildfire smoke for about 10 days. The air outside ranged from 150, which is very unhealthy for everyone, to literally 500 at its highest points, which is 200 particulates above hazardous. Because of the wildfire smoke, I was not able to turn off my air purifier and my air conditioner, which I was using to make sure that the air in here was breathable and safe. This meant that I really couldn't make a video with me talking in it because I didn't want that constant hum outside of, my refrigerator, which I really can't control. So here's the story. I've wanted an MC-707, Roland's new flagship Groovebox, for quite some time. When it first was announced, I tried to actively ignore it. I already had other gear and the $1,000 price tag was just a little too rich for my blood at that point. I tried out a couple of different Grooveboxes in the past. I had a Digitone, a Digitact, an Ovation Circuit. I tried the MPC Live for a little bit. All those machines were really cool, but they didn't gel with how I like to make music. And so I eventually ended up getting a MacBook Pro and just settling on an Ableton-based live and production workflow. And it was okay. I kept missing the tactile feeling of knobs and sliders that can control multiple parameters at once, which you can add on with additional pieces of gear, but it just doesn't feel as immediate as a piece of hardware just designed to produce music. Along with that, if you watch my channel, I do a lot of iPad music stuff. And so I was also experimenting with the iPad, and I would constantly run into issues, as I've noted in my videos, of just apps crashing or not behaving properly. And that is something I never really saw with my gear when I was using it. Obviously, every piece of software can run into glitches. I'm not saying anything is impervious to problems like that, but gear designed just for music seems to run into the kinds of catastrophic failures I would get on my iPad way less frequently, because it's not doing a bunch of other iPad stuff or MacBook stuff or PC stuff at the same time. It is just being gear. Now, the MC-707 is a really amazing piece of gear, and I think it's underrated. I think the way it gets shown on YouTube by most people makes it seem like just a techno box, which it's a really cool techno box, and people are making really awesome techno with it. But it is so much more, I feel like, than what has mostly been shown on YouTube. Sonic State has done some great videos on this. Terakith has done awesome videos on this. And in a way that really relates to what I'm going to talk about today, Red Means Recording, aka Jeremy Blake, has done some really good videos on the 707. To the point where after watching Jeremy's videos, I reached out to him via Twitter and in the comment section of his videos, just saying like, how could I get a review unit from Roland? And we kind of talked about that and how hard that is even when you're established. And then we also, I mentioned like, I have a MacBook and I have gear, like I already have software. Is it weird that I want this? And he's like, no. And other commenters are like, no, gear's amazing. I'm like, I know. And I had a particularly rough day about probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I was browsing Reverb.com, as I'm wont to do, to see what the prices were for the MC-707. And I find a listing from Red Means Recording for the MC-707. And it's like, I'm selling my MC-707, I've made videos about it, I have some sound packs on it, you get all the stuff I've put in my videos, and you get the MC-707. I'm like, is this real? And it seemed real. It was like really Jeremy's MC-707. And that just felt like a sign, because I'd wanted this piece of gear for so long, and then the guy I felt like was using it the best, and is honestly the most inspirational music YouTuber I've ever seen. I think Jeremy really does probably serve as one of the 2 pillars of music YouTube as far as like how people do music YouTube. I think of Jeremy and I think of Andrew Wong. Obviously there's Coco and Bo Beats and a lot of other really, really awesome music YouTubers. But as far as the format that most people use to make videos on YouTube about music, I think they do talking head stuff like Andrew, which I do sometimes. And then they do performance where you just show the gear and show little captions about what you're doing. That's Jeremy, that's Red Means Recording. I mean, he's got OP1 videos with millions of views. Along with that, he's one of those YouTubers who's an amazing musician as well as a YouTuber. A lot of gear YouTubers are awesome, but I think sometimes they show gear more than they focus on producing music, which is absolutely not the vibe I get from Jeremy, especially listening to his songs like Aquamarine, any of his other work, which you can find on Bandcamp and Spotify. Anyway, when I saw that it was Jeremy's MC-707, I just knew I had to have it, and it felt like a sign, so I bought it. We talk a bit about it, and he sends it through the mail right before the smoke gets really bad in Portland. So I've just spent the last basically 2 weeks learning this machine, and I'm still a baby when it comes to really understanding everything you can do, but I have definitely started to get a handle on it. I put a video out about a week ago making a track from scratch with the wildfire smoke in the background, and I got really positive response to that in a way that I really didn't expect. It wasn't like a throwaway video, but I didn't really think people were gonna be super into it, but it actually did really well for my channel, which is awesome. And thank you so much for watching that and for your well wishes while we were dealing with the smoke here. It's finally cleared. It's finally good out again. Went out for a walk and my legs hurt because that's how long it had been since I did exercise, which was really bad because you weren't even supposed to exercise inside because of how bad the air was. So I want to show you a little bit of what I've done so far with the MC-707. I've really been in a kind of loop mode. The MC-707 workflow is really similar to Ableton Live, but I'm still kind of at a point where I've just been making one clip per track and then using mute groups to kind of make a track grow and swell and then bring it back. As I get better with the machine, I'm gonna definitely have more dynamic performances, but even just using a single scene of tracks, muting them and adjusting filters and cutoffs and stuff gives such a dynamic performance that it's extremely inspiring. So I'm gonna show you some of what I've done with the 707 so far. And I just wanna give another thanks to Jeremy for all the great video content he's done on the 707 because I learned so much from it, and obviously for including some sound packs and samples that he already had that I used a little bit to make some of these tracks that I'm going to show you. And also he said he might watch this, so I hope I didn't embarrass you by saying a bunch of nice stuff. But if you're watching this, I appreciate it. All right, let's check out the 707.
I've told you once.